Okay, so today we're going to be fitting the hybrid clog. As you can see, it's half aluminium, half 3D printed pad. And if we just have a little look over here, what we've done with this is we've taken the mechanics from the clog, or the clog design, with the help from Derek Poupard from 3dfarrier.com. We have developed the clog design that we have here today. So what we're going to be doing is casting these clogs onto the foot, trying to avoid nail holes, trying to avoid any damage to the hoof wall. Hence why we've got these barbs all the way around that's going to grip into the casting material. We've used copper rivets to rivet the pad to the shoe, and as you can see, if we just come down now, we can see that we've got a slight graduation in there. I think it's 4 or 5 degree graduation. See how we've got that nice bevel with the mustard equilibrium shoe, and we've really got that roll all the way around also. So we're reducing all those radial forces as that horse wants to turn also. So a nice shoe to transition out of a wooden steward clog as we try to progress towards being barefoot. Okay, so we're just going to pack this area with a little bit of copper sulfate now. We've got the dental impression here mixed with the copper sulfate. I've mixed up quite a bit because I'm going to build up a nice little bump around the back here for when the cast's applied. So I'm going to fit this shoe quite full, quite contracted in these heels. So let's place that on there. So these have been moulded, taken from foot templates from a few weeks back. And what I'm going to do is just tack it on with 2 nails, and then we're going to let it stand on it. There's one. And that'll just let all that dental impression material come up through the pad or the clog at the back there. I'm just going to remove this, and I'm actually going to use this at the back, as I said, to create that sort of bumper or buffer there at the back to protect them heels. So we'll pop it down, let it stand on it. And while this is setting, I'm going to build up that area there, making sure I'm not covering them barbs, so when I put the cast on I get a good solid attachment with the cast. Brilliant. Okay, so the clog's now on there. You can see how the dental impression material is really packed into the clog, giving it all that strength. We've got it nicely around the back here, and if you just come into here, you can see how under the clog here we've got that nice layer of dental impression material. So we're really packing that back half of the foot back as far as we can possibly get it. We're loading the bars, loading the sole, loading the frog, really sort of increasing that surface area. We're leaving here open today, and we've also got a nice clearance here, so there's no sort of sole pressure whatsoever. You can see how our barbs are here now, ready for the application of the casting material. Okay. So as we look at this, we're using the Metron cradle here, so we get a real good sort of perpendicular view of this foot. You can see how we've got good hoof past and axis, considering we're facing a lot of hoof morphology. We've got a lot of damage in that dorsal hoof wall there, but by having that large surface area in the back half that clog has created, we're able to share that weight distribution over a large portion of that caudal aspect of the foot there. You can see how we've got the dental impression material here, so when we put that final cast on there, it's well protected. And you can see how we've got that slight gradient in the clog. I think it's around about 4 or 5 degrees, and we can see how having that slight elevation has helped with the hoof past and axis, and you can see how we've been able to bring breakover quite some way back there. So if this was to continue down here and we were to fit to this peripheral edge, we'd have a real long toe lever, and you can see how we've got breakover pretty much right back to here. So not just a fraction in front of that distal tip of P3. So just some finishing touches here now. We've just applied some copper sulfate mixed with Vaseline around that laminal wedge there, just to try and keep it as clean and as bacteria free as we possibly can. So there it is now, ready for the application of the cast. Okay, so we're just going to pop the cast on. I've dunked it in a bucket of water, so it's starting to go off straight away, but I know it's a cold day, so we've got plenty of time. I want to make sure we're getting a strong attachment to those barbs, and then I want to build up strength in that hoof wall. So Alex, you just come from the side, making sure I get it up onto that wall, and I want to go right the way up the coronary band. I want to give this horse as much tensile strength in that dorsal hoof wall, or in that entire hoof wall, as I possibly can. I'm wrapping it up onto the back of the clog here and around the toe of the shoe, really encasing everything in there. And again, I'm going to go up the wall as high as I can possibly get it without going onto the coronary band, and then back down. I just alternate between the two, try and build up a nice consistent layer. So we get to the end of the wrap. Because I've already dunked it into the water, I know it's starting to cure anyway, but I've got a little bit more water I can just add on here just to speed that up. So if you just get a shot of that from here, you just come around the front and you can see we've got a nice bit of casting material onto the heels, where you can see how we've cast over the dental impression material here, which is protecting the bulbs of heel. Just come right over the top of that. You can see how that is now protecting everything in the back. So we've got a good wrap on there now. We'll get the plastic wrap and we'll seal it all up. So we'll get the wrap, and the similar to how we did the casting material, I'm going to go around the periphery of the shoe, around the hoof wall, and then I'm going to lock it onto each heel. The tighter I can get this wrap, the better the finish on the cast is going to be, and then we're just going to let it pop it down, and we'll give that 5 minutes to set. Okay, so there we have it, all finished. Cast has gone off nice and hard now. You can see how it's blended in around the back here. If we just spin around, we can see how that dental impression material is really protecting the bulbs of heel as the casting material goes round the back, and then we go right up to as high as we possibly can on the coronary band there. We've got a good coverage of dental impression material under that shoe. Shoes on there, nice, riveted to the pad. We've also got a little toenail in there. If we pop it down, we'll have a little look from the side. Look at that. Nice hoof past an axis. Nice little bit of heel elevation and good break over around the toe. And there we are from the front there. You can see how we've had to fit this shoe. This is slightly bigger than the foot, but because we've been in these casts for some time now, we're just starting to see the negative impact of having a horse in cast for a long period of time. That sort of constriction of the foot, that sort of slightly more boxier than we would like, but ultimately you can see the amount of laminal damage, hence why we need to have that hoof cast on there. But we fitted it nice and full, given her plenty of surface area on the bottom there. We've gone for that mustard equilibrium shoe with a nice beveled edge all the way around, and it's on the clog also. And there we have it.